Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Welcome, Catholic pilgrims, to day 143 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. Today we have a very interesting set of writings. Sister Faustina goes to her confessor, and it's a new guy, and he tells her to forget everything about what Jesus is commanding her. It's all an illusion, and just abandon it, and she's not to do anything. And so she's like, okay, now I don't have to listen to any of this anymore. And then she just kind of falls into this deep, dark funk, for lack of a better word. And then Jesus talks to her, and it's just a very interesting set of readings today. And I was a little surprised at her response to this confessor. And I'm very interested to see where this conversation heads in the next couple of days and what becomes of it. So we are reading from Notebook 2, Numbers 643 through 645. Quarterly Confession. Father Bukowski. When some inner force urged me again not to put off this matter, I was unable to find peace. I told the confessor, Father Bukowski, that I could not wait any longer. Father answered me, Sister, this is an illusion. The Lord Jesus cannot be demanding this. You have made your perpetual vows. All this is an illusion. You are inventing some sort of heresy. And he was shouting at me, almost at the top of his voice. I asked him whether all of this was an illusion, and he said, everything. Then please tell me what course I must take. Well, sister, you must not follow any inspiration. You should get your mind off all this. You should pay no attention to what you hear in your soul and try to carry out your exterior duties well. Give no thought to these things and put them completely out of your mind. I answered, Good. Up till now, I have been following my conscience, but now that you direct me, Father, to pay no heed to my interior, I will cease to do so. Then he said, If the Lord Jesus tells you something again, please let me know, but you must take no action. I answered, Very well, I will try to be obedient. I do not know why Father was being so severe. When I left the confessional, a multitude of thoughts oppressed my soul. Why be sincere? What I have told is no sin, so I have no duty to tell it to the confessor. And again, what a relief that I do not have to heed my interior any more as long as things are all right on the outside. I do not have to pay attention to anything or to follow the inner voices that have often cost me so much humiliation. From now on, I will be free. And again, a strange pain seized my soul. Can I not then commune with the one whom I desire so greatly? The one who is the whole strength of my soul? I began to cry out, To whom shall I go, O Jesus? But from the moment of the confessor's prohibition, great darkness fell upon my soul. I feared lest I hear some inner voice which would occasion the breaking of my confessor's prohibition. And then again, I die of longing for God. My interior is torn asunder, not having any will of its own, since it has been turned over completely to God. That was on Wednesday of Holy Week. The suffering intensified on Holy Thursday. When I came to make my meditation, I entered into a kind of agony. I did not feel the presence of God, but all the justice of God weighed heavily upon me. I saw myself as if knocked down for the sins of the world. Satan began to mock me. See, now you will no longer strive to win souls. Look how you've been paid. Nobody will believe you that Jesus demands this. See how much you are suffering now, and how much more you are going to suffer? After all, the confessor has now released you from all these things. Now I can live as I like, as long as things are all right outwardly. These dreadful thoughts tormented me throughout the whole hour. When it was almost time for Holy Mass, my heart was seized with pain. Am I then to leave the congregation? And since Father has told me that this is a kind of heresy, am I to fall away from the church? I cried out to the Lord with a sorrowful interior cry, Jesus, save me. Still, not a single ray of light entered my soul, and I felt my strength failing, as if the body were separating itself from the soul. I submitted to the will of God and repeated, "O God, let whatever you have decided upon happen to me. Nothing in me is any longer my own." Then suddenly God's presence enveloped me and penetrated me through and through. This was just as I was receiving Holy Communion. A moment after Holy Communion, I lost all awareness of everything around me and of my whereabouts. Then I saw the Lord Jesus as he is represented in the image, and he said to me, "Tell the confessor that this work is mine, and that I am using you as a lowly instrument." And I said, "Jesus, I can no longer do anything you command me to do, because my confessor has told me that all of this is an illusion, and that I am not allowed to obey any of your commands. I will do nothing that you tell me to do now. I am sorry, my Lord, but I am not allowed to do anything, and I must obey my confessor. Jesus, I most earnestly ask your pardon. You know how much I suffer because of this, but it can't be helped, Jesus. The confessor has forbidden me to follow your orders." Jesus listened to my arguments and complaints with kindness and satisfaction. I thought the Lord Jesus would be grievously offended, but on the contrary, he was pleased and said to me kindly, "Always tell your confessor about everything I say to you and command you to do, and do only that for which you obtain permission. Do not be upset and fear nothing. I am with you." My soul was filled with joy, and all those oppressive thoughts vanished. Certitude and courage entered my soul. Were you as surprised as I was by her response to this? I was just reading through this and I was like, no, stop it. Stop talking like this. I don't like it. It's so interesting, this dialogue that goes on today between her and this new father that she's talking to, and then her and Jesus, and even with Satan and just her inner thoughts. All of it is so interesting, and I was just kind of baffled by it all. And just starting with Father Bukowski, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I hope I'm kind of getting it. He's so forceful about telling her that this is an illusion, this is heresy. And on one part, he is right. She did take perpetual vows for a particular congregation, and now she's saying, I need to leave and start my own. And he doesn't like the idea of doing that. He's like, "No, you took perpetual vows, and you can't leave now." But he's so severe about it. And is he severe because he just absolutely does not want her to do this, or is that the kind of guy he is, and he just is always severe in his confessions? I'm interested to see how this plays out with him. And then she just is like, "Okay, I'll do whatever you say. I'm not gonna heed Christ's words anymore. I'm just going to, as she says in one part, live my life how I want to, as long as everything is okay outwardly." And then she falls into this kind of darkness. She says this great darkness fell upon her soul. And she's like, "Oh, I don't have to listen to these inner voices anymore, but I'm dying of longing for God." And it just seems like she's completely conflicted here. And then Satan enters the scene, and he's mocking her and saying everything that you would expect Satan to say. And then she goes to mass and she's crying out, and she even says, "Do I have to fall away from the church now?" I mean, gosh, these are some huge doubts. You just got to wonder if what that priest said was just kind of maybe a scandal. I don't know. I don't know if that would qualify as scandal, but just really bad advice. I don't know. But Jesus then talks to her, and he seems calm. He's like, "Everything's okay. Tell your confessor everything I say. Tell him that this work is mine. Don't worry about it. Don't get upset." And her just telling Jesus, "I have to listen to my confessor over you," is so puzzling to me. And I know that she took a vow of obedience, but still, when Jesus tells you to do something, Jesus trumps everybody. So that's so curious to me. But Jesus is not upset. He's even pleased, she says, and talking kindly to her. And he's just saying, "It's okay. Don't be upset. Fear nothing. I'm with you. Don't do anything unless you obtain permission from your confessor. So, holy cow, I was just really surprised by all the responses today from everybody, from the Father to Sister Faustina. I guess Satan I wasn't too surprised about, and then even Christ. I'm just really curious as to what the next couple days are going to bring. And part of my curiosity is coming from the fact that I know that the congregation that she's been urged to start eventually does get started. So obviously, somewhere along the line, everything gets worked out, but I'm very curious to see how that all gets worked out, and if this priest comes around, and if Christ is like, nudging his soul and helping him to see that this is actually coming from Christ, coming from himself, and that he wants this done. So, wow, just very interesting day, and I really look forward to the next couple days where we're gonna figure all this out. So I will see you back here, Catholic Pilgrims, for day 144. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.